hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Cube Stuff Saturdays podcast. I'm your host Max Chan, or MC Stuff, and today I have a very special guest on YouTube. You guys may know him as Cubed, or his name is Jason. Thank you so much, Jason, for coming on the podcast today.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Apart from your YouTube channel, you're also pretty decently fast at cubing, I would say, and I just have some discussion points and questions I want to touch upon here that I prepared. And I want this to sort of be like a conversation instead of being like an interview, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so the first thing I just want to talk about is like growth on YouTube, because I remember I talked to you, I think it was back in like 2019, the beginning of it, and your channel was, I think, around like 50 subscribers, and now it's grown to over 300, I believe. And that's just incredible. So what do you think has like been the most important thing for YouTube growth, like in your videos?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I remember talking to you back at some comps, and I think I never really expected it to grow like at all, really. But as far as like how it actually did, I think it's mostly just staying consistent, just uploading or at least like staying like, I try not to take like really big breaks between uploads, and if I ever have an idea, I always make sure, write that down. Maybe you'll make a video out of it, and I know a lot of things, I do upload a decent amount of solves too, so, speed cubing, obviously, we solve a lot, so that's something that can definitely become a topic on a channel and stuff, and I've really enjoyed it, so I think that's really a big factor too, just enjoying what I'm doing. It's really great.
Yeah, agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
And yeah, on the note about planning, you mentioned that like planning your videos. If you have an idea, for example, how would that go about? Like, would you write it down on like a post-it note or something? Do you write it down physically, or do you have like a system online, or do you just try to remember it?
Right.
What's your thought process?
So for me, I basically just have like a Google Docs that's just like, I just kind of like leave it open, and whenever I have any ideas or I need to write a script, I go in there and I just type it up, and I try to keep it pretty organized, and I think it works pretty well for me, at least.
Yeah, I noticed your voiceovers are pretty clean and all that. So do you like read it word for word, or do you just go based off of like different points you have when you're doing like a review or something?
So for most voiceovers, I tend to usually, I guess it depends. A lot of them I do write some sort of script, like, but I guess there are certain ones like I would say, I don't know if you've watched like the Thursday Thoughts and stuff like that. Um,
Yeah.
those I kind of think of certain points that I want to hit, and then I just kind of go off of those and say, and kind of go through like whatever's in my mind and start saying. But I guess for most like reviews and stuff, I usually have a script that I follow.
Yeah, I think it keeps it more organized. Like for me personally, with my videos for my channel MC Stuff and my other channel, I use an app called Notion. I don't know if you've heard of it before.
Yeah, I think I have.
Yeah, it's like an all-in-one workspace sort of thing where you can like take notes for school, or you can just like use it for video ideas and all that. So I'm actually using it for this podcast right now, like just the different segments and all that. Like there's different check boxes I have and different bullet points that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just what I use personally. But Google Docs is a great option also because it's saved on the cloud. You can use it anywhere from your phone or computer. Yeah,
Yeah, I guess I haven't really like gone off of like Google stuff. Like I use Google for like a lot of things, and Notion, I have heard of that. I think it sounds pretty good. I might have to check it out, but I know at least for you too, I think your videos are really great, and I mean, I know you put a lot of effort in them, and it really shows.
yeah. Thank you. Okay, and I've also realized in your videos like they're very very clean, especially the thumbnails. Like, um, so that's a very big aspect because it's the first thing that the person looks at when they're gonna click on your video. Like, is the thumbnail good or not? So when creating thumbnails, do you have like a certain style that you go to, and like what sort of system do you use to create your thumbnails?
Yeah, so for thumbnails, I kind of like, I guess a lot of the videos I do like kind of the same thing for it, and the application I use is called GIMP, GIMP. It's free, so
Okay.
that's basically why I got it, and it was recommended by, a bunch of different people, and I've been using it ever since I started my channel. And I guess for most thumbnails, I usually just Let's see. I guess for most thumbnails, I try to find like a picture. I either take a picture or I find like a part in the video where it's like a pretty blank background with just like the topic on screen, and I add some text usually, and I like I kind of mess around with it and get kind of. I usually try to like try different things each time too.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed your thumbnails are very minimal. I think that's good because a lot of other people they keep it like it's like kind of overwhelming, and I think it is not that's not a good first impression. It's good that you're doing what you're doing with your thumbnails, and a rule that I like to follow also with my thumbnails is the like the 4 word rule, not having 4 words, not having more than 4 words because that might be a little bit confusing, and especially if somebody's viewing your videos on like a phone or something, it's sort of hard to read the words, especially. And the 4 words you can make them pretty big throughout the whole entire thumbnail.
Yeah, that's a really good. That's a pretty good rule to follow. I definitely say I usually keep something like that in the back of my mind too. Like always, don't like write like too much on a thumbnail. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so like, what camera do you use when you're filming? And do you normally like clean up the background, or what do you do? What do you do to prepare for your videos when you film?
Yeah. So basically, over like the maybe like 2 years I've been doing this, I I try to like keep my desk like as clean and organized as possible, and that just makes it easier to just start recording like whenever I have like anything to record. To actually record, I use my phone. It's an iPhone XR, I believe. Yeah,
Okay.
it's worked for me so far, and I haven't decided to like invest in a camera yet, but I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, the quality is great though. I think it definitely yeah, it doesn't matter really about the camera quality. It just matters about the content that the person produces. And I think you have good valuable information in your content which stands out.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I noticed in a lot of your videos the custom mat, like how did you get that? I just want to
Oh
ask,
yeah.
like how did you make it? Yeah.
So I think I got it off a website. I think it was called Inked Gaming. I think that sounds about right. Yeah. So I just it's basically I think it's the same as my YouTube banner, and I don't know. I kind of wanted a mat that was personalized a little bit, and I thought it was a good idea. Yeah, and I've been using it,
Yeah.
and it's held up pretty well.
Yeah. So I think that like if you ever would you like think about ever changing your channel name because then that mat wouldn't really apply? Because I think Cubed is a good name though. Because I think when you search up Cubed, I was searching your channel is the first one that appears. So
Oh,
would
awesome.
you ever consider changing your name or anything? I don't know.
I have considered it before, and I guess right at this moment, I don't think I will, but I don't know. Sometime in the future, I might want to because I don't know. Cubed is kind of it's plain. It's there's nothing too special about it, and I kind of like it that way too. So I don't know. I guess
Yeah, I like the idea of it also. Yeah,
yeah. Thanks.
it's yeah, very simple. I think like the theme of your channel is sort of like simple and minimalistic. Like your voice is pretty soothing too, to be honest. Yeah,
Thank you.
when I'm watching some of your videos, yeah. And then I didn't touch upon the editing process yet, but when you have a video to edit, say it's like a review, like your latest video, the clock,
Yeah.
the pros and cons of the Shengshia magnetic clock, what would you say? Like, how long does it take you to edit, and what do you normally add in your videos that spices it up a little bit?
Yeah. I think as far as editing goes, I'm definitely not like super like pro at it or anything. I'm like pretty much just the basics. But for the clock review, that took me about I want to say like 3 or 4 hours to edit. It was
Okay.
like I guess a little more than average for me because I tend to like making shorter videos. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what video editor do you use, by the
Oh
way?
yeah, I use Shotcut, which is it's also free like GIMP, and it's worked pretty well for me. I think it's definitely not as like um it doesn't have all like hmm, there's not as many options as some of the bigger editors out there at like Final Cut Pro or anything like that, but it gets the job done for me.
Yeah, and I think that's good. I use iMovie also. It's pretty basic also on Mac.
Yeah.
And is Shotcut, do you use it on PC or Mac? Which
I
one?
use it on PC.
Okay, yeah, I'm a Mac user, but iMovie is like the basic one, like
Yeah,
shortcut.
yeah.
Um, yeah, there's just only simple things like you can do like a split screen on iMovie, like picture in picture. Just like those simple things. You're only allowed two video tracks. Is that the same case with Shotcut?
I don't think so. I think Shotcut can have more than two, but I know iMovie is definitely like it's definitely like uh pretty good. I know like Cuban Coded uses it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was talking to him the other
Oh
day, like
yeah,
on the podcast. Yeah, he said he uses iMovie too.
yeah.
Like what he does, for example, if he wants to use like a third video track, what he does is he exports the video with two audio tracks already and saves it as a file on his Finder or files, and then he puts that file back into iMovie, and then
Oh
that acts as another track on it. If you sort of get what I mean.
yeah, yeah. That's pretty smart. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely a good idea.
Yes. So I guess it's good that like some of these free softwares you can do a lot with, like Adobe. I know like the Adobe Premiere Pro,
Hmm.
that's like $299 a year, I think,
Yeah,
and Final Cut is like $300 as well. So
yeah,
yeah, I don't think you need to spend that much to make content.
yeah. Definitely.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess free softwares like these, they're like they make it really easy and accessible for people who want to start a channel, and I think that's definitely really great.
Yeah. And then, do you see yourself in the future like upgrading or anything to like different equipment and different editors?
I think as of now, I want to definitely stick with what I have because I know I haven't reached like the full potential of the softwares that I have. I still have a lot to learn, so I'm definitely going to keep working with it for a while. But if there comes a time when I feel like I can do more with different softwares and I can get it, like I have the budget for it, then maybe.
Yeah, and on that same note, like, where do you see your channel in the future? I think that was one of the Q&A questions in your one of your Q&As, I think. Yeah, but
Yeah.
could you just say it again on here?
Yeah. As for the future, I mean, hmm, I'm hoping to still like keep growing, and I don't plan to stop consistently uploading. So hopefully that keeps going, and I can't really predict that far, but yeah, hopefully it just keeps growing.
So for YouTube, I don't know if you knew this already, but on YouTube, like you can make money and all that. I've heard like monetization.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about that?
I think that's probably like in the back of the mind for most people when like starting a channel, and I'd probably be lying if I said didn't think of that too. But I mean, as of now, obviously, I'm not doing it for that because I'm not making anything off of it. But if it does get to that point in the future, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I think the requirements are like 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Like on YouTube Studio has like a monetization thing.
yeah. I've seen
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So I'm definitely not like I'm not that close to it. So I don't really like see it like in reach right now. But who knows? Maybe in the future.
Yeah. Well, at the rate it's going right now, I bet in the next couple years, I think you're gonna hit 1,000 definitely. I could probably see next year, like by the end of the year, you'll probably hit 1,000. I bet at the rate it's going. Cause just asking, but at the beginning of this year, what was the channel at?
I believe around 200 or so. So like I know at least for my channel, it's like the growth it's kind of it goes in like peaks kind of like there's certain times when there's like nothing happening and no subscribers or anything, but then there's also times when you get like two or three a day for like a little while, and I guess it's up and down, but you can't have the ups without the downs. So like, you know, I I'm just continuing and going.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I agree with that. Okay, so for your videos, what was the video that really took off, would you say, that like
Oh, yeah.
gave that really big spike in the beginning?
Yeah, I think like way at the beginning when I was probably around like 30 or 40 subscribers, I uploaded an unboxing of the Valk 4M 4x4. It was very new at the time, and that ended up doing very well. I think that definitely boosted me and got me to my first 100. And ever since then, there's been like a few bigger videos that have hit like that too. Like one that I actually uploaded before that was another unboxing of the Angstrom Worm 3x3, and that
Okay.
didn't blow up at first, but it got a lot bigger like after a few like months and stuff. And then also, I know my cube collection video was doing pretty well, and that definitely got
Yeah.
some helped the channel grow a good amount.
Yeah, and also, would you say that like getting new cubes, like the Shengshou Magnetic Clock, is pretty new. Like I also got it. I pre-ordered it. Like I think we both got it maybe around the exact same time.
Yeah, I think so.
And yeah, would you say that getting new cubes will definitely like help you get more views because not there's not as many things? Is that like a strategy that you try to follow by?
I think
I guess.
I don't want to say like if you get new cubes, you'll grow on YouTube, but I think it definitely plays a part. Most of these, whenever I think about ordering a cube, um, I don't order like everything new that comes out. I definitely don't do that. I don't think anyone does, but um, yeah, I think if there's like a cube that's receiving like a lot of hype and I'm actually excited about it, then there's probably a decent chance if I can, of course. Like I'm not, yeah, if it's possible, then it would be pretty cool to make a video on it and stuff.
Yeah, like being the first one to make the video like about the Sheng Xiao clock. I remember like when I got it, I streamed it on Twitch, like the unboxing of it
Yeah,
and setting it up. Um, and then I tried to push the video as fast as I can on my channel because I knew there's not as many people who made a video about that, and I'm sure some other people want to know about what it was like too. And I remember seeing your video posted about like 20 hours before mine, which was nice to see. I get to see another person's take about the clock. But yeah, there's just a lot of people. If there's like a big flagship cube, I see a lot of people trying to put out videos like that. I
yeah,
think.
definitely. I think it's kind of like a race to upload content, and I know, at least for me, I also try to like push out like newer cubes, like reviews or unboxings about newer products and stuff. And yeah, I think it is also very great to see other people's thoughts. Like I remember I watched your video too, and yeah, it's great to see other people's thoughts on the same things.
Yeah, yeah. And back to the thing about one of your videos blowing up, like the Valk 4 and the WRM review. So you said the WRM review, I think, or was it unboxing?
I think yeah, it was the
Um,
unboxing.
okay, yeah. You said that one like it took a while, did it, and then it like blew up. Would you say?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it was sitting around a few hundred views, and then a few months later, it ended up like it wasn't like huge, like a one big burst at a time. It was more like consistent. Like um yeah, it was just like consistent. Like viewers kept seeing it, like, and over the course of like a few months, even like it was just consistently getting viewed, and I think it's around 3,000 right now, which isn't big for most channels, but I think it's the most on mine.
Okay. Yeah, I also want to I wanted to talk about that because I guess something similar happened to my other channel, like my personal channel, my non-cubing channel.
Yeah,
So I had a review on the 2008 Nikon D60 review, and I was also kind of surprised. Right now it's sitting at about 9.8K views, and I was actually really really surprised that a camera from 2008 was getting views like that. And I guess I don't know if you're surprised or not, like, because the WRM, I think it was released maybe like a year or so ago.
yeah, probably
I
around then.
think, yeah. So yeah, I guess, and for me, the views have just been like, I guess I would reload the page every single day, and I would see that there'd be like, I guess like uh 30 to 50 views maybe
Yeah.
or so every single day, and like there's that steady growth that just I guess sort of motivates me too. So when you see success on your channel, would you say that helps motivate too, or is there another factor?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. When the channel's doing well, it's definitely a huge motivator. And I mean, I remember I have been subscribed to your other channel for a while too, and it you that's great content. That's great stuff. And I remember seeing your the Nikon D60, was it? Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember seeing that doing very well, and that's awesome. Yeah.
yeah. And surprising, like sometimes the videos that you publish back then, you look back and they're not like the best videos. Like even though I posted that video back in April,
Yeah.
I think it was pretty bad quality. I was filming on my phone. It's like an older one. It was from like 2 3 years ago. I think I was using like the selfie cam and I had it flipped,
Oh,
and the lighting was kind of bad. It looked kind of grainy. I was not looking at the lens, so there's just some things that um, I guess when you look back, you just see how much you improve, and it just shows. Like, would you say in your WRM review also, there's some things that you would fix, or
yeah,
would you say it
definitely.
was pretty
Yeah,
good?
I think for like most of my videos, even some of the ones from only like a couple months ago, I can see like, oh, I probably would have done some things differently. And I mean, that's great that for anyone like looking back on older things and seeing how you could improve, which is that's always some of the best ways to improve. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess we kind of dove pretty deep in the whole entire YouTube and content creation thing, but I also want to just talk about your cubing journey itself and how you started cubing. So would you mind sharing how you got into cubing?
Yep. So I think, like most people, I just had a cube around my house. It was just a Rubik's brand, so nothing special. But I think it was around maybe 2015 when people started like bringing cubes into school, and there were a lot of people that were just playing with them whenever we could. So I ended up bringing mine in, and I learned how to solve it that year. But then the year after that, it kind of died out. So I ended up actually I forgot, and I don't remember. I don't even remember. I know I didn't use CFOP the first time I learned, but then in like 2017, I would say, I picked it back up again, and I learned CFOP, which I've just been continuing with ever since. And yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good story. So in 2015, so you had a Rubik's brand, and yeah, you took a break until 2017. All right. Yeah, I visualized that.
yeah,
Yeah, similar to me. Like I started in 2015 also with the Rubik's brand, but yeah, I didn't learn CFOP until I think like 3 4 months after I started. But did you just like during that time period when you took a break, did you say you like lost interest and didn't feel that motivated to do cubing, I guess, with that Rubik's brand and beginner's method?
yeah. I definitely since like a lot of other people kind of like stopped really caring about it. I never really was too deep into it. I kind of just learned like the basics, and that was really it. And yeah, I definitely basically just like forgot all about it. And that's why I wouldn't say I started like speed cubing until 2017, because 2015 and 2016 I never really like tried to get fast or anything. I just kind of learned to know it.
Yeah. And then I remember, I don't know if you remember, like back in the 2015 to 2017 era, like the cubes were kind of trash, I'd say, like the speed cubes especially.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember I got one off of Amazon, I think, and yeah, it wasn't like anything special. I don't even think it's like a name brand cube. It's just a cube.
yeah, like there's just some speed cubes out there. They call it a speed cube. I mean, it turns better than a Rubik's brand,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
there's just some things back then that were marketed that were like sort of, I guess you could say, misleading a little bit. But
yeah,
nowadays, I feel like cubing hardware is definitely getting a lot better. It has improved a lot since like the 2015 2017 era. Like that, like when I started my first ever speed cube, I believe was the Moyu Tanglong. I don't know if
yeah,
you
yeah.
remember that at all. I actually got it in brown
Oh
plastic.
wow.
It's kind of weird. I believe I traded it like 2 years ago. I don't
Oh
know why, at like a UPenn competition.
yeah,
Um,
but
but then
yeah,
my first cube was a thunderclap. My first like my second cube was a thunderclap. Yeah.
nice.
What were you gonna say?
So I think uh, ooh, I forget what I was gonna say before, but for my first cube, I think it was my first speed cube really was the MF3RS version one. And I've liked that the line of MF3RS puzzles for a while. I have the V2 and V3, but I do not have the 2020 version. I don't think I'm gonna get it, but I know you got it, right?
Yeah, the 2020 version,
Yeah.
I think it's great. The plastic is just frosted.
Oh yeah.
It's like a different feel from the V3.
Yeah, yeah. I think um I think even with that line in particular, like it's really pushed the budget market too, like budget cubes and all that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, like the Mofeng Jiaoshi line just in general. Like the 3x3s have been especially good. I think they're all under $15, I believe.
yeah,
I think, yeah. I actually used the MF3RS2M, the Cubicle Labs one, for about 2 years
oh
actually,
yeah,
during from I think, yeah, 2018 and 2019. Like those 2 years, I was specifically using that, and you can still get great times on budget cubes, I
yeah,
think. And the RS3 is definitely pushing leaps and bounds. Also, I'm using that as my backup main, so I think budget cubes are a good option too.
yeah, definitely. And you definitely don't need like a super premium cube, or I mean, even the budget cubes are pretty premium, I would say. But you don't
Yeah,
need anything that's like super expensive to get faster or to be motivated to improve at cubing. So I think that's really awesome.
yeah, yeah. And also nowadays, for speed solving, what events would you say you're practicing the most?
Oh yeah. So I think 3x3 has been like the most consistent. Like I've just been practicing it ever since I started. And I think most of the N by N events I usually practice a fair amount. I think I would say I do N by N's more than the rest, but except for I know I do square one a decent amount. And unfortunately the Volt V2, I know I made a video about how the corner broke before, and
Yeah.
now I got a replacement corner, which was great, and I that cube is awesome. I like that cube a lot, but unfortunately, another corner broke, and that kind of sucks.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm
That's a little
not. I
unfortunate.
don't plan to get another replacement piece. I think because I kind of realized that one corner broke. It's probably time that most of them are gonna start falling apart because I've been using the cube a
Yeah,
lot. But
yeah,
I have the YLM square one, and that's just fine for me. So yeah,
yeah.
I like square one.
Still, yeah, still a great cube. And to make you feel better, with your Volt V2, I actually lost my first Volt
Oh
V2.
no.
Also, like I have no idea where it is. But I think that's worse than a corner. But
Yeah, yeah, probably.
yeah, I think it's somewhere in my house. I just haven't had the courage to like find it.
um,
And also, I ordered another Volt V2. I don't know if you saw
oh,
my
I
video
did.
on it
Yeah.
or not. But yeah, I ordered it in black
Oh man,
and I wanted stickerless, but
that's rough.
I mean, I have that at least. I
Yeah.
just changed the yellow side to black
Oh,
now
nice.
and it's
Yeah.
better, yeah. Yeah. But
I guess the
that's
Volt
just the,
V2 is the unlucky cube.
yeah, yeah. I guess you could say that. All right, and the last thing I want to just touch upon in like these discussion questions is like non-cubing hobbies. So, I don't know, could we just like lightly talk about
Yeah,
that?
for sure.
Is that all right? Okay, yeah. So I think in one of your videos you mentioned you play in the band. I forgot what instrument. Was it
Yeah,
saxophone?
I play
I
tenor
think. Yeah.
sax, and I play in jazz band and also marching band at my school, which I that's definitely one of my bigger hobbies, and yeah, I really enjoy it.
So just wanted to ask, but when you're marching in the marching band, like does it ever get tiring or some or anything like holding your instrument? And do you have to do like a certain formation when you're marching?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's definitely not as easy as a lot of people see it, but I definitely don't think it's super difficult. But it's definitely very. You need to be. Or, let's see. Um, it's very active hobby, definitely,
Yeah.
and also another hobby I have. Um, I also run. I run in track for my school too, and I know you run too, right?
Yeah, I do mainly cross country. I'm
Gotcha.
probably not as fast as you because it's like I do longer distance.
Yeah, I mainly do like middle distance, like 800 and the mile. Yeah.
Okay. And real quick, do you want to just like spit some times or something? Um, I don't know.
I mean, I unfortunately the spring season was kind of, uh, it was canceled. But
Yeah,
back
yeah.
in the winter, I didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't get to run in a lot of meets. I was only like two. but my mile PR is around like 5:30 ish.
That's really fast, honestly. I didn't know that about you. That's pretty fast. Yeah.
Thanks.
My LPR, I think. Yeah, I think mine is around. I think mine is like a 5:32 or so. I don't know
That's awesome.
exactly,
That's great.
but in like a cross country meet, a couple like last year, I did like a 5:47 in like a 1.9 mile run or
Oh
something. But
wow.
that's pretty impressive, honestly. Like 5:30, yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's pretty good. So like, um, do you think that, um, do you think I don't know, running at all has helped you with cubing or any like the mentality or I don't know, some has it had any parallel to cubing at all, would you say?
I think with most things I find like a sort of lesson you can learn in them. Like definitely I would say yeah, definitely. Like the mentality of practicing and performing even when it gets like difficult, it's definitely it applies to all sorts of things.
Okay, sorry about the inconvenience, everybody. We just had some technical difficulties there, but basically we were just talking about um the parallel between track or running with cubing. So, Jason, was there anything else you want to expand upon that?
I think that was basically it. It was just like, I think the mentality, as long as you take away the right lessons from basically any activity, it applies to all sorts of things. And yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, so that was pretty much everything I had to discuss here. I just actually have two more segments that I want to just that I always do with my other guests. So and
yeah,
the two of them I have is the first one is a would you rather segment. So I'll have two cubing related ones and then one non-cubing related one. The cubing ones are pulled from the speed solving forums, and then I have the other segment. It's called rapid fire. So I just have some five quick questions that uh, you'll answer, and then we can discuss it a little bit afterwards. So,
all
yeah.
right, sounds good.
All right. So, let's start with the. How about let's start with rapid fire this time? So,
Oh, all
um,
right.
our guest, the first guest on the podcast before, or the first guest for the season, Parker Traeger, he said that he wanted the intro music for rapid fire to actually be opera music.
Oh,
Very interesting. Yeah. So, that's what I'm gonna have to put for the this segment of the podcast. But without further ado, let's get started. So your goal is to try to answer these in as like quickly as possible. They're like either or questions, pretty much, except for the first one here. But yeah, are you ready?
all right. Yeah, let's go.
Rapid fire. All right, I got five of them here. So, all right, three, two, one. All right. So, what is your three favorite WCA events?
3x3, square one, and 5x5.
Okay, Netflix or YouTube?
YouTube.
Dog or cat?
Dog.
iOS or Android?
iOS.
Rubik's Brand or V-Cube?
Rubik's brand.
Okay, got it. All right, so yeah, I just come up with these. I think it's just a good way to keep the entertainment up a little bit. Just getting some quick thoughts and like quick thinking for some of the guests, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, um, for your three favorite WCA events, you said I forgot exactly. What were them again?
I said 3x3, Squan, and 5x5.
Okay. Yeah. So just wanted to ask, but in between 3 and 5 is 4 by 4. So just asking,
Yeah,
but why did you skip over 4 by 4?
yeah. I think for 4x4, a while ago, I was practicing a lot, and I still practice. But I think as far as my times improving, I didn't improve as fast as I did on 5x5, but 4x4 is definitely up there. I might even say number four might be 4x4, but it's definitely up there.
On the Netflix or YouTube, you said YouTube.
Yep.
So,
So
um, yeah,
yeah, um, I definitely I enjoy both definitely, and on Netflix the Speedcubers documentary was awesome. That was great.
yeah,
I would say I probably spend more time on YouTube though. Yeah.
same. Yeah. Yeah, and then on the same note about the Netflix documentary, last episode we actually had Asher on, Asher Kim
Oh,
Magirik. I
nice.
think
Yeah,
that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, his mom was the director of the Speedcubers, so
yeah,
he kind of talked about that a little bit. He got to see like some like the process of making it and all that. So that's in the last episode. But that was just
nice.
interesting to see.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, and then dog or cat? You said dog, so
Yeah,
you want to explain the reasoning behind that?
right. So I don't have a dog or a cat, but I would say um I don't know. I've seen more dogs, and there I don't have anything against cats, but I just have fun with dogs, and
Yeah, yeah, like last episode also Asher did say that dogs I guess are you can do more with them. Like cats are a little bit more independent. Like dogs are more friendly, it seems. I guess depends on what the
yeah,
breed is. I guess you can have more fun with them. Yeah, like
I
I have a
guess, yeah,
dog myself too.
yeah.
He's pretty fun. He's getting old,
Nice.
but he can do some basic tricks and all that.
Yeah, that's fun. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then iOS or Android. So you have an iPhone, obviously,
Yep.
and yeah. So I don't think there was any question there, honestly. But
Yeah, I've been using iOS for basically I think the whole I don't think I've ever used Android, so I've kind
yeah.
of just been with iOS.
Yeah, it has a very, very clean interface, I'd say, and everything is really, really neat. Like, have you heard of Apple's new update? Like in the future, I think iOS 14.
Yeah, I've seen like different I don't know what to call them, like prototypes, but
Yeah,
um it looks really cool. I can't wait.
yeah. Same with me. Like, I think it's coming to Mac and also iPad too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then Rubik's Brand or VCube. I think I agree with you for Rubik's Brand too. But any reason why you chose Rubik's Brand over VCube?
Yeah, I guess Rubik's, it's been a more I guess actually I don't think when VCube was like the main like thing that everyone had to use, I don't think I speed solved back then, so I never really had the exposure to it, but Rubik's, I don't know, it's the OG,
Yeah,
I guess.
and I think Rubik's is also coming out with like newer things. Like, well, they're pushing more into like the speed cubing realm a little bit because at Cubing at Home, they're
Yeah.
like sponsoring it and they have Rubik's ambassadors now. It's like Max Park and like some other people. Yeah, and there's like the Impossible Rubik's Cube. I don't know if you've seen that or not. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
people have tried to solve and yeah, just things like that. I think Rubik's is um stepping up a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. They're definitely playing a pretty big part in the community right now. And I don't know if you've seen the Rubik's Connected Cube, the smart cube that they made.
Oh yeah, yeah, I saw that. It's
Yeah.
magnetic too, I think.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely Rubik's is upping its game, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the next segment. Would you rather questions. So on the second episode, Kevin Lee or Cubing Encoded, he said that the intro music for this would be YouTube audio library music. That's where he gets his music for his videos. Um, so that's what he wants the intro to be like. I choose any of them. It could be different each time, but oh yeah. And speaking of that, like for your videos, have you tried using YouTube audio library?
Yeah, I think recently before I have been using Audio Library, the YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, but recently I don't know why. I've had some trouble with like downloading from there, which is kind of
Oh
weird, but I mean, I've just been going with it. So, I've been using YouTube Audio Library for not that long, but I've definitely used it a bit.
yeah. On a side note, to download music, just to help you out a little bit, do you do like YouTube to MP3 and then I just copy the link and then paste it into like the first result on the web?
Oh,
That's what I do.
that's probably smart. I should probably try that, but I've
Cause
just
like
been going to the audio
description.
library website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. That works for me. I mean, the files are normally less than like 10 megabytes, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Normally. Yeah. All right. So to the would you rather questions, I got three of them here. Would you rather? Do would you like to start with a cubing related one or a non-cubing one first?
Uh, let's go with the non-cubing ones.
All right. So I actually only have one of them and then one non-cubing and then two cubing related ones. So the non-cubing one is would you rather be able to talk to animals or speak all human languages?
Oh, I think I would probably have to go with speaking all human languages.
Yeah.
I think I mean, talking to animals would be very fun, but I think mostly I have more interaction with humans, and knowing that many language, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
That would
I
be
don't know how
awesome.
your brain would have the capacity to like memorize all that stuff.
I don't know. That would be tough. I don't know. I don't think anyone can do that. I don't know. I could be wrong, but
Yeah, but I
yeah,
know in the world there are people who know like at least 10 languages. Like some people
yeah.
do that.
It's definitely very useful to know that many.
Yeah, cuz like you could go anywhere in the world without having to like look up, oh, how do you say where do I find food? Like instead of saying like I don't know, just look. It saves you a lot of time knowing that,
Yeah, yeah,
and
for sure.
yeah. But talking to animals is pretty cool too.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah. All right. So now the cubing related questions. The first one is, would you rather only be able to practice a week before a competition, or practice any time but never compete?
Oh, I mean, when you say never compete, does that also include like online and stuff?
I guess we won't count that. Uh, because like I think they were talking about the physical aspect about cubing.
Yeah, that's pretty tough because I know I enjoy competing a good amount, but I guess recently I think we've all been going without competing for the most part.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I'd have to choose always practice but never compete because then I can still like share my times and improve and yeah
Yeah. Yeah.
enjoy the hobby.
Yeah. That'll keep your that'll like have your uploads be a little bit more consistent with that because I know you
That's
post
true
a little bit
too.
of solves too. Yeah, my opinion would be a little bit different if competitions were around. Like, I love competing honestly, and I find that sometimes when I take breaks from cubing, it helps me a little bit.
I know what you
Like
mean. Yeah,
when I take a break, it puts my mind to rest, so I don't have to be overwhelmed with cubing a lot. Sort
yeah,
of, if you get what I mean. Yeah.
yeah. I think also one thing that kind of plays a part. I don't um up until like very recently, I haven't been able to attend like a whole lot of competitions, and usually around like certain parts of the year, I can't go to any at all. So
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. I guess practicing only a week before, I think that would be great if I competed more, but I guess that also plays a part.
The final last would you rather question is: would you rather only be able to do side events or only big cubes? I think I know your answer for this one, but
Ooh,
you can say it.
only big. Huh. Big cubes. You that's just 5, 6, and 7. I'm assuming.
Or I mean, you could put four in too, 4x4.
Oh, okay. Huh. I mean, I think that's a little tough. I think I would choose big cubes, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah,
Yeah, I think side events, I definitely enjoy uh, a few of them, but I think the end by ends are usually what I go with.
yeah, same with me. Like, I think I was talking about this last time with another guest. I forgot who, but I feel like they're all like interchanged, sorta, and they all like are sort of have the same steps to it. So it's sort of easy to get good at one, and then you'll get good at the other. So like, if you're good at seven, you're probably gonna be really good at six, five, four, like that, going
Yeah,
down the
yeah,
list
yeah.
because
The
principles are the same.
That's true. Yeah, definitely. Like practicing one definitely also helps with the others, that's always great.
Yeah, it's also really intuitive. Like you don't have to learn like extremely like an extreme amount of algorithms. Like especially for centers, it's just you got to recognize the patterns and just find different cases. Like what Kevin Hayes is doing. Like I watched some of his Tuesday tips.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, big cubes are more intuitive, and then some of the side events they're like quicker, except maybe like Megaminx or FMC. I think. Um,
Yeah, and like big blinds and stuff. But
yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah. Like Pyraminx and Scube, they're pretty fast. And I feel like I guess I don't feel as accomplished when you like solve slower. I mean, solve faster events. I don't know. I don't know if it's just a feel. I don't know if it's just me or not, but I feel more accomplished when I get a really good time on bigger cubes rather than side events. Yeah. But what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I think for side events, I think the thing is I enjoy only like a few of them, but with bigger cubes, I like practicing all of them, and yeah, I think the algorithm part definitely that's definitely a big thing because I guess some people enjoy learning a decent amount of algs. Personally, I'm not too into it, but I'm not against it either. I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle.
Yeah. So how often do you learn Alex? By the way.
Yeah, actually, for like I wouldn't say too often. When I was learning EP on Squan, I was learning them pretty frequently. But when I'm done with that. I finished those now,
Okay.
so
Nice.
I haven't really learned too many algs since.
Okay. Yeah. Same with me. I'm not really like. I haven't learned too many Alex. I think once you get to a certain point, you've learned a lot, and you just got to practice what you already have in your
Yeah,
tool belt.
yeah,
Yeah.
there definitely has to be a pretty good balance between practicing but also learning things.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that was all the would you rather questions I had, and everything I pretty much had on my whole entire list in Notion. So I guess is there anything you would like to mention or say at the end, Jason?
Um, I think one thing that I kind of thought about before we started, it kind of goes along with the YouTube part and having a channel. So
Yeah.
basically, there's like a big part that I think is in a lot of people's minds is like comparing yourself to other channels.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's hard to avoid it. I think you have to do it healthily, though. I don't know. Is that a word, healthily? I don't know.
Yeah. I
But
get what you mean though. I can get the
yeah,
connotation of that.
yeah, so like I don't know, it's not great to look back at bigger maybe like bigger channels like I don't know, the ones that started like a while ago like Derpy Cuber and DG Cubes and all of them. And I think it's easy to see like how fast they grew like as channels,
Yeah.
and I think that may be demotivating kind of for some people. I don't know,
Hmm.
but I think it's also good to remember that the cubing community and the environment it's changed a lot since then, and the YouTube cubing scene is like very there's a lot of people that are involved, and that's not a
Yeah.
bad thing. It's just it's harder for individuals to really grow.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. That's a very very great point that you said. And yeah, like I know you talked about like JR Cuber and Derpy Cuber and those people. They've been doing it for a while, but I feel like you can also get discouraged from people who started like after you and then they've grown a lot more. Like if
Hmm.
we look at Cubehead,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, he's grown a lot. Like I think he started maybe only a couple months ago, and now he's at like 12K or so. I don't know,
yeah, very
somewhere
true.
there. I don't
I
even
think
know. It's like growing every single day.
yeah, it's crazy. I think the thing is though, I think none of all of the people that are like big like that, I think they all deserve it. Like they make great stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You can see it. I try to mostly see it as motivation rather than demotivation, and you know.
Yeah, and everybody has different style of things. Like on that same note, you shouldn't try to do what another person does. Like be unique on YouTube. I think that's something that helps a lot because it helps you stand out in a crowd if you really want to grow your channel and um, like not be like everybody else. I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I think being unique, it's not always the easiest thing to figure out, but it's probably one of the bigger, like most important things that will help you, grow.
Yeah, like I know a lot of people like you can still do reviews on your channel or unboxings, but just a different style. Like everybody's a different style. Like your videos are very concise and straight to the point. That's what I like about it. And like some other people, they have that excess things like the excess things they talk about. They have pauses in their videos, things like that. Everybody's different style. I feel like, and um just you can still do the generic things like unboxings, reviews, tutorials, but it's the way you present it, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
matters. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think all of the different styles, like they all work for like um there's always different audiences to cater to, and if you make something, there's a pretty good chance that there's at least a good portion of people that are going to really enjoy it. But then there's also the people that would probably prefer like a different style, and that's just that's okay.
Yeah, since cubing is such a broad topic, I'd say, or like it's expanding a little bit more now. I think there's a lot of different creative content you can produce. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So I think we pretty deeply touched upon that. I think. Would you say it too?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So wrapping this up, um, for the show notes, I could plug your YouTube channel. And is there anything else you want me to plug in the show notes, or is that it?
Uh, that's really it. Yeah, YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, you guys be sure to subscribe to Jason on YouTube. He's going to be producing consistent cubing content, high quality, So be sure to check out his channel.
Yep, thank you, and of course, subscribe to Max.
Yeah,
He also makes very great content.
thank you. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. I really appreciate you coming on. And yeah, thank you so much.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Wow, what a great conversation I had with Jason. It was really good to hear his insight about his YouTube channel, and we did share a lot of valuable information. So if you're just starting a YouTube channel or you already have one, I think everybody should benefit from this. And I think it's important that you take away some things from this podcast, especially being unique and just everything we talked about in general. I feel like everybody can have a different twist on different content that they produce, and I think that's something that we really touched upon here and we tried to emphasize. So that is all I had for this podcast. Season 2, Episode 4 of the Cube Stuff Saturdays podcast. Hope you guys really do enjoy. Be sure to rate us and also comment down below in the YouTube comment section if you're watching this on YouTube. And thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.